here is what we're going to be doing today. Hello and welcome to another episode of our Daily Groove. My name is Kit Mills, and today's Daily Groove is a syncopated groove in 3/4 time. In the previous two lessons, which I've linked to, I believe, in the description below, we worked on some other grooves that were in 3/4 time, which means 3 quarter notes. So we count it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But not everything is a waltz. And that's what those guys were. Today's is a little bit more of kind of a funky sort of groove, or just sort of a, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, so I've just called it a syncopated groove in 3. And it's very simple. We play 3 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. So we're marking the time with this. But the important thing to remember is that we're playing 8th notes in between, like so. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And so what we'll do to get started is we're going to play a bass drum on beat 1. And that's the only drum that's on the beat. And this is why we call it syncopated, by the way. Syncopated, S-Y-N-C-O-P-A-T-E-D, is a reference to things not being right on the beat. They're in between. They're on offbeats. They're on places that aren't usually emphasized. And so here's what we have. Here's the first bass drum hit. 1, 2, 3. This isn't syncopated. This is right on the beat. And this is actually pretty similar to some of the grooves we've done before. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add a snare drum in on the end of beat 2. So that means it's going to lie in between a couple of the cymbal hits. So it looks like this. I'm going to leave out the bass drum for a moment. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. If you think of the Carol of the Bells, remember that? Da 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 da. Right, right, left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right. That's the pattern. It's a similar rhythm. Right, right, left, right, 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 left, right. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now let's put the bass drum back in on beat 1 and see what we have so far. 1, 2, and 3. 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 It's pretty simple. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the last hit, which is a bass drum after the 3rd cymbal. So let's leave out all the other drum hits for right now and try just that. So we'll get 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now before trying to play the whole groove, let's put the other bass drum back in because something kind of interesting happens. Take a look. Here's the bass drum at the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. We get 2 in a row when we repeat. And 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So you got to watch out for that. There's a cymbal, then a bass drum, then both together when you're repeating from beat 3 back to beat 1. Now, let's add the snare drum back in on the end of 2. So we're going to have 2 consecutive beats that have hits after the cymbal. The snare drum after the cymbal on beat 2, and then the bass drum after the cymbal on beat 3. Let's take a look at this slowly. 1 and 2 and ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and bass drum. Right, left, right, bass, bass drum. Right, left, right, bass, together. Right, left, right, bass, together. Right, left, right, bass together, right, left, right, bass together. That's it. Let's get the metronome going. That's a little bit faster than where we were. 1 and 2 and go. Bass, right, left, right, bass, bass, right, left, right, bass, both, right, left, right, both, right, left, right, bass, both, right, left, right, bass, both, right, left, right, bass. And of course, you've probably already figured out by both, I mean the right hand and the right foot at the same time. Bass, both, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1. So let's work this up speed-wise, and then we're going to do a variation on it. A little faster. A 1 and 2 and go. Right, left, right, bass, 1. Right, left, right, bass, both. Right, left, right, bass, both. Right, left, right, bass. If you're left-handed, by the way, you just reverse the pattern. And that got me thinking, of course, could I do that on the fly? Let me try it. So that would be both left, right, left, bass, both, left, right, left, bass. I'm going to slosh the hi-hat. Both, left, right, left, bass, both, left, right, left, bass, both, left, right, left, bass, both. And of course, if you're right-handed, you could also be crossing the right hand over here if you'd prefer. Either way, by the way, is okay. Even if you're right-handed, of course, you can still play left-hand lead sometimes on the hi-hat or ride or whatever you've got nearby. It's just kind of handy to do. Gives you more coordination. Let's go up to 80 beats per minute. Here we go. Right hand. 1 and 2 and 3. Both. Right, left, right. Both. Both. Right, left, right. Bass. 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 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1. A little faster. 90. 1, 2, 3. Right, left, right, bass, both. Right, left, right, bass, both. Right, left, right, bass, both. All right, so let's get into a variation on this. We'll come back to the ride cymbal 1 too, don't worry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand to the floor tom. Here we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left hand up to the high tom. And now what I'm going to do is every other time I'm going to switch which tom this left hand hits. Now the middle tom. High tom. Middle tom. Let's stick with that one, go up to 100 beats per minute. A 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Now let's go a little faster. 1, 2 and 3, 1, ready, go. Go back to the ride cymbal and the snare. Here we go. And you can hear it really changes the sound. Both are useful. Just different, different applications. And here's sloshed hi-hat. Okay, a little faster. Let's stay on the hi-hat. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, ready, go. Now back to the ride cymbal. Now to the toms. Here we go. Now the middle. A little faster. Stay with the toms. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, ready, go. Both right, left, right. Both right, left, right bass. Both right, left, right bass. Both right, left, right. Now to the ride and snare. And when I was doing fills earlier in my demonstration at the beginning, I was mostly thinking, you know, of how many bars I'm at. So usually 8 bars, or maybe the 7th bar, and then starting a fill that was mostly an 8th note. So let's say 3. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'll do 8. 8, 2, 3, 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And so that's kind of a good place to start if you're trying to figure out how to fill. If you feel comfortable, of course, then you can interpret that any way you like around the drum set. And of course, yeah, you heard in the demo at the beginning, I did some 16ths and some different phrasings and things. But, you know, start simple, start keeping track where you are, and that will really help just give you something that's going to actually fit when you're playing in music. Most stuff happens to be phrased in 8 bars, so make sure you put the fills to hit those transitions at the end of the 8th bar. So starting in the 8th bar, starting in the 7th bar, something like that. All right, so let's do 2 more tempos and call it a day. Start with the hi-hat again. 1, 2, and 3, 1, ready, go. I'm going to go ahead and put a fill. That was in bar 8. Now I'll do 7. Let's go over to the ride cymbal. And then we'll go up to the toms after the next one. Gotta remember how it goes. Here it is. A little faster, 150, and we'll finish with this one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, ready, go. Now to the ride cymbal. Both right, left, right bass, both right, left, right bass, both right, left, right bass, both right, left, right bass. Now switch over to the hi-hat. 1, ready, go. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you found that a little too fast toward the end, don't worry about it. Go back on your own time and practice maybe with the earlier parts of this video, or if needs be, slow down to whatever speed makes it comfortable for you on your metronome. And I encourage you to put it in the 8th notes on the click, just like we did there. If your metronome doesn't have that function, just set your metronome to 6 So you can hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's just like 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then you can really hear where those hits need to go. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them down in the comment section below or contact me on my website, kitmills.com, anytime. And if you like this video, if you found this useful, please click that like button. And if you have not already done so, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. That'll always be the easiest way to hear of more videos coming up and uploading streams and all that sort of stuff. And you know what I mean. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me for our daily groove with the syncopated groove in 3/4 time. And until next time, keep on drumming. See you later.